1 week after my daughter-in-law posted, "Finally, the freeloader is gone." My phone wouldn't shut up. 37 missed calls, 46 messages. I turned it face down and let it buzz itself tired. I'm sitting at the small kitchen table in the beach house, the one I hadn't been back to in years. The air smells faintly like salt and old wood, which I forgot could happen at the same time. Honestly, I expected to feel something bigger: victory, guilt, panic. Instead, I just feel organized, like my thoughts finally lined up. My name is Maeve Calloway. I'm 65. That feels important to say out loud. I keep thinking if I say it enough times, it'll sound real. I didn't imagine my life would look like this. I also made a lot of dumb choices getting here, staying quiet too long, calling it peace when it was just avoidance. You know how that goes. The messages keep stacking. My son's name flashes first, then hers. Missed call after missed call. No apologies yet. Just call me. We need to talk. This went too far. Funny how fast too far shows up when the ground shifts. I pick up the phone, scroll. Don't answer. I'm not ready. Or maybe I'm too ready. Hard to tell the difference when your hands stop shaking all at once. If you're wondering why I'm not panicking, I get it. A week ago, I would have been. A week ago, I was still in that house, cooking dinners nobody thanked me for, folding laundry that wasn't mine. A week ago, I believed silence kept things from getting worse. I swear I did. I stand, rinse my mug, set it upside down. Small things feel controllable right now. Outside, a gull screams like it's mad at the world. Same. Anyway, that's the present. The calls, the quiet, the part where I don't run. Let me back up to the day they told me to leave. It happened in the kitchen, not even the living room. No build-up, no warning. My daughter-in-law didn't raise her voice. She leaned on the counter, arms crossed, like this was overdue maintenance. "We think it's time you move to the beach house permanently," she said. She wasn't just asking me to leave. She was trying to exile me to the smaller property so she could take full control of the main estate. She forgot one thing: I didn't just live there. I owned the deed they were standing on. I looked at my son. He was standing by the fridge, door half open, pretending to read a label he's seen 1,000 times. He didn't look back at me. That was the part that landed. "This isn't working anymore," she added. "Everyone's uncomfortable." I waited. Old habit. Counted to 3 in my head. He still didn't speak. "So you want me out," I said. My voice came out steadier than I felt. She shrugged. "I'm not saying it like that." I nodded. "But you are saying it." My son finally closed the fridge. "Mom, let's not make this a thing," he said, soft, careful, like I was the fragile object in the room. That did it. Something clicked. Not loud, just final. I didn't argue. I didn't ask where they thought I'd go. I walked past them, grabbed my purse from the chair where I always left it. No boxes, no jacket, just the purse. At the door, I turned. They were both watching now. I smiled. Not warm, not cruel, just honest. "So I'm officially done with the unpaid position," I said. "Good to know." Her mouth tightened. My son opened his lips like he might explain himself. I didn't wait. The door closed behind me with a dull thud. Not dramatic, just wood on frame. In the driveway. I stood there for a second, keys in my hand, feeling stupid for how long I'd stayed. Then I got in the car and drove away, leaving every single thing I owned exactly where it was. That part mattered more than I understood at the time. I was parked 2 blocks away when my phone buzzed. Not a call, a tag. I opened it expecting one of those fake, cheerful family updates. Instead, there was a photo of the front of the house. My house, apparently. The caption sat right under it, bold like it wanted attention. Finally, the freeloader is gone. I stared at it longer than I should have. Not because it hurt, because it felt staged, like she'd been waiting to press post. The number kept climbing. 1,552 people had already hit, like some I recognized. Neighbors, a cousin I hadn't spoken to in years. People who waved at me while I carried groceries in every Sunday. The comments came fast. One woman wrote, "No more cooking or laundry for a failure." She added a laughing emoji. Like that softened it. Then my son showed up. No words, just a thumbs up. That small blue hand felt heavier than anything else on the screen. He didn't even try to explain it away, just agreed. Publicly, I scrolled. Didn't react, didn't defend myself. That part surprised me. Old me would have typed a paragraph, erased it, typed another, then cried in the car. This time, my fingers stayed still, honestly. If you're watching someone tear you down in front of an audience and you still choose silence, it's either weakness or planning. I wasn't weak anymore. I noticed how careful the language was. No details, no dates, just enough cruelty to paint a picture without proof. She wanted sympathy, not truth. I liked one comment, then another, then all of them, slowly. On purpose. That's when the messages started. Private ones. Curious ones. A few uncomfortable congratulations. I locked my phone and set it on the seat. My hands were steady. That scared me a little. Whatever game they thought they were winning, they'd practiced it, rehearsed the lines, picked the moment. I started the car, let them enjoy the applause. I needed them confident for what came next. I drove until the road stopped pretending to be useful. Same turn I'd missed on purpose for years. I pulled over, cut the engine, and sat there with the keys still in my hand, like they might argue back. This was the house we bought when things were good, before hospitals, before paperwork with too many initials. My husband loved this place. I didn't. Not after. I let it sit, paid what needed paying, told myself distance was respect. Honestly, it was fear. I got out of the car. The front door looked the same. That annoyed me more than it should have. I stood there too long. If someone had been watching, they'd think I was locked out. I wasn't. Inside, the air felt closed up. Salt and old wood. I set my purse down and didn't move for a second. My phone buzzed again. I didn't check it. I walked to the kitchen counter. Same scratch on the edge where he dropped a pan and laughed like it was a win. I pressed my thumb there, then pulled it back, fast. Not doing that today. I told the room, out loud, "I'm not here to grieve." My voice sounded thin, but it held. I opened a cabinet, empty. We'd cleared it when he got sick, thinking we'd be back in a month. Then we weren't. That's how houses become ghosts. Nobody does anything dramatic. They just stop returning. I sat at the table. The chair scraped louder than I expected. I almost flinched. That was new. Fear had been loud lately. I checked my phone once. 37 missed calls was still 37. 46 messages still unread. I turned it face down again. Not yet. I went to the bedroom and opened the window. Just enough air to make the place feel awake. I didn't change clothes. Didn't unpack. This wasn't a retreat. It was a reset. Standing there, I understood something I'd been avoiding. The house my son and his wife lived in had nothing to do with this one. Different walls. Different lies. They thought ownership came from comfort and routine. From staying put long enough that the truth felt rude to mention. I slept on the couch that night. No sheets. Light on, phone off. By morning, I knew exactly what I was going to do. The story didn't start online. That part just made it louder. It started in the kitchen, years back, when my daughter-in-law would smile at guests and tilt her head toward me. Maeve helps out. She'd say, not lives here, not family, helps out, like a favor with an expiration date. I cooked because nobody else did, cleaned because it bothered me when the sink stacked up, picked up groceries when the fridge went hollow and my son muttered about work being crazy. I told myself it was temporary. I tell myself a lot of things. At dinner parties, someone would ask, "So what do you do?" Maeve. Before I could answer, she'd cut in, "Oh, she's taking it easy these days." Light laugh. End of topic. My son let it stand. Every time, when a neighbor joked, "Must be nice not having to work." I smiled and nodded. I didn't correct her. I didn't want to embarrass anyone. That's what I told myself. Truth is, I'd trained myself to disappear. One afternoon, I overheard my daughter-in-law on the phone. She didn't know I was in the laundry room. I mean, she doesn't pay for anything. She told whoever was listening, "We're basically supporting her." I stepped out. She froze. I didn't raise my voice. "That's not true." I told her. She crossed her arms. "Then why are you still here?" My son looked between us. "Can we not do this right now?" That was his move. Delay until I got tired. Later, I asked him, quietly, "Do you think that about me?" He rubbed his face. "It's complicated." That was the answer. Not no, never no. So the narrative stuck. I was the extra mouth, the background help, the woman who hovered without a role. Outsiders believed it because I made it easy. I stayed quiet. I stayed useful. I stayed small. By the time she posted that word freeloader, it sounded familiar, comfortable, like something they'd been practicing in private. I sat with that for a long time. Not the insult. The confidence behind it. They weren't just erasing me, they were certain I'd let them. The folder was already there. Bottom drawer, blue, bent at one corner. I hadn't opened it in years, which tells you everything about how badly I wanted to believe none of this would ever matter. I spread the papers across the table. Deed first. My name, clear. No asterisks. No shared ownership, just mine. I remembered signing it. My husband joking that we should frame it because nobody ever believes women own things outright. I laughed then. I didn't frame it. Next came the insurance. Still in my name. Taxes. 2. Paid every year, on time. Even when I wasn't living there, I'd treated it like background noise. Something responsible adults did without applause. The agreement sat at the bottom. Family occupancy, long term, written in plain language, no end date. Which was the problem? It gave comfort without clarity, permission without ownership. I'd thought generosity was enough. Turns out it just made people bold. I called an attorney I'd used once after my husband passed. His voice hadn't changed. "You are the sole owner." He told me, calm as a receipt. Since there is no written lease, they are legally classified as tenants at will. That distinction is everything. You don't need a reason to end their stay. You only need to give them a formal termination of tenancy. "I don't want a scene," I told him. "You want a legal process," he replied. "In this state, you give them 30 days after that. The locks change and the police enforce the deed. Scenes happen when people skip the paperwork. We talked timelines, notices, what had to be written, what had to be sent certified, what I should not say out loud, no matter how tempted. He didn't ask why. Professionals rarely do. I drafted the letter myself. Clean, dates, facts, no emotion. That part surprised me. I'd carried so much feeling for so long. I thought it would spill everywhere. It didn't. Once I started, it felt almost mechanical. I read it twice. Changed one line. Took out a sentence that sounded like an apology. Left everything else. My phone lit up again. I didn't look. Not yet. I slid the papers back into the folder. Stacked neatly this time. Hurt had gotten me here. Strategy would take it from here. They thought comfort meant control. Thought staying long enough turned permission into ownership. Paperwork doesn't care about feelings. And for the first time in a while, neither did I. I went quiet on purpose. That was the whole move. No replies, no clarifications, no late-night messages trying to smooth things over. I let the week stretch. People get sloppy when they think they've won. I took screenshots of the post first. Every comment, every like, timestamps included. I saved the one with no more cooking or laundry for a failure twice, just to be sure. Then I caught the thumbs up from my son. That one hurt less once it was filed. The attorney emailed a checklist. Short, boring, exactly what I needed. Document everything. He wrote, "Don't editorialize. I didn't. I labeled files like a librarian. Post, comments, agreement, deed, tax receipt, insurance page." One by one. They stacked into something that felt heavier than anger. Midweek, my son called. I let it ring. He texted instead, "Can we talk? This is getting weird." I didn't answer. Later, his wife tried. "People are asking questions. This didn't have to go like this." I read it. Left it on read. That felt new. Powerful. Even by Friday. The certified notice was ready, clean language, dates spelled out. No threats, no apologies. Just facts and timelines. I signed it slowly. My name looked steadier than I felt. At the post office, the clerk slid the green receipt across the counter. I signed again. She stamped it and pushed it back. "There you go," she said, like she was handing me a coffee. I walked out lighter, not relieved. Certain. They thought silence meant I was folding. What it really meant was the clock had started. The notice to quit landed at 9:12 in the morning, certified, signature required, and drafted by my attorney. It gave them exactly 30 days to vacate the premises before formal eviction proceedings would begin. By 9:17, my phone started shaking like it was about to explode. 37 missed calls came first, then 46 messages. I watched the numbers climb without opening anything. It felt rude to interrupt them while they were panicking. My son left the first voicemail. His voice was tight. "Mom, this is extreme. We need to talk right now. No apology, just urgency." His wife followed. Texts, not calls. Short bursts. "This is unfair. You can't do this. We've lived here for years." The tone shifted fast. From offended to managerial, like she was used to handling messes by assigning blame. Then came bargaining. "We'll pay something. Let's meet and figure it out. Why are you involving lawyers?" That one made me smile. Small, unavoidable. I opened a message from my son. He wrote, "You're putting us in a bad spot." I typed back, then erased it. I almost explained myself. Old muscle memory. I stopped. Another voicemail came through. His voice dropped an octave. "Utilities are in your name." "That's not okay." I replayed it once. The word okay landed funny. Like permission was still part of the conversation. His wife tried again, this time with concern. "People are starting to ask questions." She wrote, "We look bad." That was the first honest sentence all day. I set the phone down and went back to the folder. Everything was where it belonged. Dates lined up. Signatures legible, nothing to argue with. The calls kept coming. Faster now, louder. No one said sorry. No one mentioned the post. Nobody offered to take it down. They weren't calling because they missed me. They were calling because the floor shifted and they didn't know how to stand without it. I let the phone ring itself quiet. The notice had done its job. Now the waiting part began. The post disappeared on a Tuesday afternoon. No announcement, no explanation, just gone. I found out because my phone lit up again. Different tone this time. Tight. Controlled. My son called. I answered. First time all week. She took the post down, but it was too late. My attorney had already notarized the screenshots as evidence of bad faith occupancy in a court of law. You can't claim you have a right to stay in a house while publicly defaming the owner as a freeloader. Her own vanity had handed me the perfect legal weapon. He exhaled. Her lawyer friend said it could be used against us. There it was. Not regret. Risk assessment. She didn't mean it like that. He added, fast. It was a joke that went too far. I pulled the screenshot up on my screen. The words were still sharp. Still mine to remember. Which part was the joke? I asked. The freeloader part or the failure part? Silence. Then, people are asking questions. I almost laughed. Almost. Later that night, his wife texted. Long message. Carefully spaced paragraphs. I've removed the post to stop the rumors. Neighbors are talking. Someone even messaged my coworker. This is getting out of hand. I typed back one line. You made it public. She replied instantly. You didn't have to escalate it. I stared at that for a while. Escalate. Like I'd invented the audience. Another message followed. We're willing to apologize for me, but you need to understand the position you're putting us in. That one stayed unread. I broke the fourth wall for a second here, because if you've ever been blamed for the consequences of someone else's mouth, you know that feeling. The moment you realize the apology is about optics, not harm. By morning, mutual friends had stopped liking her posts. A neighbor I barely knew sent me a quiet message asking if I was okay. The silence around her grew louder than the comments ever were. Deleting the post didn't erase it. It just proved she finally understood what it cost. And that was the first real crack in the story they'd been telling about me. They showed up 3 days later. No warning. My son first, then his wife a step behind him. Like she was letting him take the hit. I opened the door and didn't invite them in. We're sorry, he started. Fast. Nervous. This went too far. She nodded. Eyes already wet. I never meant for it to blow up like that. I leaned against the doorframe. You meant it enough to post it. My son swallowed. You know what she meant? I shook my head. No, I know what she wrote. I quoted it back to them. Slow. Finally. The freeloader is gone. Then the comment. No more cooking or laundry for a failure. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. She flinched. I took it down. After 7 days, I replied. And after your lawyer warned you, her mouth opened. Closed. We can fix this. My son tried. We'll sign something, pay rent, whatever you want. I looked at him. Really looked. You already chose what you wanted. You just didn't think I'd stop absorbing it. He reached out. I stepped back. No lease rewrite. I told them. No family exceptions. The termination of tenancy stands. You have 27 days left to find a place that actually belongs to you. She cried then, quiet, controlled. You're ruining us. I nodded. No, I stopped saving you. Here's the thing I learned, and I'll say it plain because people pretend not to understand this kindness without boundaries turns into permission. Silence trains people to believe you'll always swallow the cost. Consequences aren't cruelty. They're clarity. If this story hit close to home, take a second. Like the video. Drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. Someone else needs to hear this before they break themselves trying to keep peace. They left without hugging me. That was fine. Later, back inside the beach house, I did one small thing. I took my husband's old mug from the cabinet and put it on the counter. It still smells faintly like burnt coffee. He always overdid it. I didn't cry. I didn't smile either. I just stood there, finally alone in a space that was mine, letting the quiet settle without asking it to forgive anyone.